This is Street Fighter Alpha 3. Here comes a new challenger. That's enough! Unbeatable!
This is the Lukefitz Street Fighter Alpha 3 podcast with your hosts, PodCast and Lukefitz.
It's showtime!
Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the Alpha Lives podcast. I am Lukefitz and I'm joined as always by my co-host Quest. This is a special pandemic edition of the Alpha Lives podcast, and we'd like to start with a quick public service announcement. It's a reminder to all Alpha 3 players to isolate yourself if you have faced Ryu, E-Honda or Gen in the past week. Avoid playing footsies with any confirmed victims. Limit yourself to zoning and long-range pokes only. The only known counter to coronavirus is to wake up super, activate V'ism and uppercut in the invincibility frames, or you may be able to get away with a crouching fierce with good timing and spacing. The stimulus package will be extended to all players whose character is outside of the top 2 tiers. You will receive this next time you log into Fightcade. Now, despite the virus, we'll be covering our first live tournament on the podcast, CCH in Melbourne, which had the Alpha 3 tournament this weekend. And it is a privilege to be joined by Muttons, the head of operations of CCH, to talk about Chris's Clubhouse, abbreviated as CCH. So we're very excited to hear from a champion of the fighting game community in Australia. So I'll hand over to Quest to kick off the interview.
Thank you, Luke. Muttons, for our viewers who are not familiar with CCH, could you explain what CCH is?
Thanks guys for having me. CCH is a community event that we run twice a month at the Collingwood Library. Now we're running at the Senior Citizen Centre, which is a bit of a irony there, because sometimes, we like to call ourselves a FGC retirement home. It was started around 2010 by a guy called Chris Dang, because back in the day, Melbourne was pretty much FGC that was quite connected to the arcade scene. And when I think Super dropped, or Vanilla Street Fighter 4 dropped on the consoles, and there was like a bit of difference between the console version and the arcade version, so we needed like a place to play the console version. And this was kind of in the infancy of our scene, where Shadowloo was just starting out and Couch Warriors was still doing the console stuff up in either Uni or in Abbotsford. It's just a place that we run twice a month. It's a place for people to come down playing fighting games. Our pricing structure is $4 entry, and it's free if you bring a console or monitor. So we run off bring your own console kind of culture. So a lot of people bring all kinds of different games, like Street Fighter Super Turbo, Virtua Fighter, My Little Pony, anything you want to play. Fighting games. Alpha 3, yes. CCH is a place for you. It's gone through quite a bit of changes over the years. Like, it used to run on Friday, and Chris Dang himself, the founder, who's a very shy and humble guy, he actually lives right across the venue, but he sometimes he's too shy to come around to show his face. But
oh, really?
And then but he retired.
A bit of a celebrity around there. Is that why he's?
It's a bit of a funny story, actually, because he's quite active on the Team WP Discord as a guy called G'day. People were telling him, "Hey man, you're in Melbourne, you should come to CCH and play," and like not realizing that this guy is the founder.
Yeah, he founded it.
And he's such a nice guy. He's just like, "Oh really? Oh, blah blah blah." But I think around 2011 he had to step back and take care of his family a bit more, so he passed it down to me, because I was living in East Melbourne at the time, so it's easy for me to get to the venue. So, it was on Fridays. We used to run stuff like team tournaments, CPU money matches, and things like that. And over the years, it was quite dominated by Street Fighter 4 back in the day.
How long has CCH been running for then? Because it sounds like it's been running for a while.
This year is our 10th-year anniversary, so it's been running for 10 years. Yeah. Why the event has run as long as it has is because of the people that come, guys like, we've gone through so many generations. We used to have people like Ali from Shadowloo, Bugs, Syntax, Spoonie, formerly the president of Couch Warriors, help out, and a lot of the generation has come through and retired the old Street Fighter 4 generation. So we have a brand new generation of people. I guess you got guys like Tomo. So now CCH is pretty diverse. You come into the event and you see, it used to be like Street Fighter 4. dominating the room, and you have some other games on the side. But now you have like, Tekken has their corner, anime, which is a really strong and thriving community, has their corner over there. You got retro Street Fighter in the corner with Super Turbo and Alpha and all those games, and you got a little bit of Marvel, a little bit of DBZ.
Yeah.
So it's quite
awesome.
diverse now. And
that sounds like a lot of variety, and certainly I saw a lot of variety when I went there. So for you as a player, what is your background in fighting games, and what is the first fighting game that you got into competitively?
Well, I grew up as a kid in Malaysia, and really, as a kid, I was like always wanted to learn how to play these games when I go to arcade and stuff like that. But my mom is pretty hardcore conservative, kind of typical Asian lady. So it was only when I came here, and I was like, I think back in 2020. Well, I started paying attention around 2007 or 2008, when SF4 came out. I happened to be working around Crown, and Crown had the arcades going on, and I would go and see dudes like Penn playing his Ken, guys like Havoc playing his Blanca, and I got into it pretty deep in those days. So like back in the day, it was crazy, man. We used to have like 4 meetups a week. We had Boxer on Tuesday, CCH on Friday, Clash Wars on Saturday, then a Deakin, which is a meetup that me and my old podcast buddy Igor used to run on Saturday. So sometimes, it would be like 4 times a week, 4 or 5 times a week. We have meetups in Melbourne, and our community has gone through a lot of change. But anyway, so if you want to ask as a player, I got really deep into Street Fighter 4, and Marvel 3 was probably my 2 big games that I played for most of my competitive career. I was never really that good, but I had such a good time, working with the guys from Shadow, guys from Couch Warriors. No longer part of Couch Warriors, and Shadow is now defunct, but has shut down. But those guys are still all really good friends, and that's kind of why I'm still around, because make lifelong friends, man. Been around for like 10 years.
So it's the community that keeps you around, even though you're no longer a competitive player.
Yeah, I don't really play anymore. Just to compete, as you guys know, you gotta put in a lot of time. You gotta practice pretty much every day. You gotta do your homework, watch your streams. Work on your bad matchups, work on your weaknesses and things like that. And it was really good for me. I learned a lot about myself. That I have stage fright. that you learn a lot about yourself by being a competitor. And I travel across Australia. New Zealand scene is awesome. Shout outs to Standing Fierce and Opto Dave. They have the scene which gives me the most feelings of the golden age. These guys love the community, and they're all about the games they love and things like that. Well, esports has come in and changed the community quite a bit as well. You see a lot of people which don't really have a background as a player or as a TO, but they're actually doing like organizational stuff because there's money involved now and things like that. So it's a very different time to when I was really active as a player.
Yeah, well, my perception of CCH is it seems more like casual than Couch Warriors. Is that correct?
That's fair to say. CCH has always been a supplementary event. We used to run tournaments and stuff like that, but over the years, my thinking about things has changed quite a bit. Like we used to have so many events every week, and talking to guys Clockwork came down one year for Shadow, and he was telling me, if you have a big tournament every week, you kind of tend to burn out the player base. So his ideal schedule of a monthly schedule would be more maybe you have events leading up to a big tournament every month, because people need time to develop your game, level up, grind and stuff like that. You have one big one every month. I mean, it does have its pros and cons. You get that rhythm and the momentum of people competing, but burnout is real. I've seen so many people from my time, my generation, not just players but tournament organizers, and they burn out because, let's be real, doing this fighting game stuff takes a lot of time and effort and money, and to get paid for it or to get enough reward for it to do it. If you ever did it for that reason, you're gonna burn out. Most people, you can only really survive if you do it for love. And most people start out for love of the game, but there's other factors now.
Are there any current issues or important decisions about CCH that you are currently deciding on?
Issues this year, simple one. The council has gone through a new system, staff turnover changes. So booking the venue we usually book the whole year, second and fourth Saturday of each month. But last year in December, they were going through staff turnover and new systems, so we could only get our bookings through basically Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, I was on phone call with the library staff.
That's dedication to the cause.
And this year, like there's been building works at the library, so we've had to seek an alternate venue. So kind of like we've been really lucky. We've managed to get all our dates in for this year. And as you saw yesterday, Quest, we were at the Senior Citizen Center, which is in my opinion, a way better venue. It's much bigger. We've got like lots of space, lots more tables and chairs. It's you can almost run a rambat there, but however, it is 4 times the price of the library room. So in the library room, we run it for like $6 an hour. That's the booking cost. But in this senior center, it's $24 an hour. So a lot of people will come up to me and be like, we like this new venue, we want to be here permanently. But I'm like, well, we can't really do that in the current pricing structure, which is kind of aimed at providing open and friendly space that people can play essentially almost for free. If you bring a console, you can play for free. We kind of want to be like a replacement arcade or a place for people to just play fighting games with no agenda, no corporate constraints, just it's all about play what you love kind of thing. But so if we want to be there permanently, we'll have to change our pricing structure, and the math doesn't really work out. Yeah, so that's one of the issues that we're facing so far. Over the years, we've had other things like we've been lucky. We haven't really had issues with theft and stuff like that. But there's always been drama, player conflicts, and things like that. But probably the venue.
Sorry, drama between between the venue or between the players or.
Oh man, in a competitive community, there's always ego, there's always drama, there's always people that have problems with each other. But at the same time, like you see people become almost like family. Like the week before, we all went up to Berwick, probably maybe 25 of us for like a birthday barbecue at Canales. We just played Street Fighter all day.
Oh, that's cool.
Break down Van Damme movies and things like that. So
it sounds like there's a real sense of community spirit and.
Yeah.
But you said drama. Have you seen anyone throw their controller down or yell at somebody?
Yes. There's been pop-offs. There's been chairs been thrown. There's been controller. You see this everywhere though. Like you see this at tournaments, rambats. People get salty. There's fighting games, man. People invest so much time into their game and to becoming good. But that's when we gotta step in as organizers and. Try to shut things down, shut any drama down. And
have you kicked somebody out before? Or?
Yes, there was a guy. Well, I mean, do you guys want me to talk about this or
yeah, this is awesome. I'm listening.
This will be good for ratings,
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I think it was last year. This might not be that good to talk about in terms of it kind of sheds a negative light on.
It's fine. Fighting, everyone knows that's fight. It goes with fighting games. It's just part of the passion.
Okay, but one of the core tenets of CCH, and I don't run this by myself. I run this as as a big group, as a community. Anything I do, I always ask everybody that comes, the community, everything. So I don't want to make it sound like we do this together. It's not just me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there was one incident was it last year or the year before now? But there was a guy that used to come to play ST, and he would bring a super gun and stuff like that. And the problem is that he would kind of drink and come and be aggressive at CCH, and we warned him 2 or 3 times because he was displaying a behavior of being aggressive and kind of racially abusing people and stuff like that. And until finally one incident happened, and there was him and another guy went at it, and this guy he kicked a stick, went flying across the room, hit the whiteboard. He ran across the parking lot, smacked the sign, went to the police station and filed a report of assault against the other guy. So the police came over. They took statements, investigated. I had to shut down CCH early. I had to make a report statement to the council. Blah blah blah. Oh man, it was such a headache.
Wow, that is insane. So is he banned for life?
He is banned for life now because I warned him twice before. I was like, man, if any further incident happens, you're gonna be we're gonna ban you, man. And and thank you to the guys that came to help out, George and Koros. He came to be a peacemaker. Igor came to be a peacemaker. But man, that day I will never forget. I looked around CCH and just saw, because now probably back in the day we have an older demographic. Now we have a lot of young kids as well. I look across the room and I see faces of what the hell's going on? Kind of fear and shock. And it was not a good feeling, man. I was like, can't let this happen at CCH ever again. So
I can understand that.
So in the 10 years that we've run there, we haven't really had an incident like that until that time. That's probably the worst incident that ever happened there, because and the cops know us. They see us they kind of stand in the train station. They see us packing away our setups and stuff. So they ask us,
you're across the road from the police station.
Yeah. So they ask us what's going on, man. Like, people getting angry over like video games. So
everyone thinking, what are these guys doing?
Yeah. So man, that was the darkest timeline, man. But
has the culture of the FGC changed over the years?
100% has changed over the years.
In what ways has it changed?
I want to say elitism. Like, again, this is just me being real. Like, back in the day, because of the arcade culture and stuff, there is a kind of like a lot of the better players, the top players are kind of elitist. They're not friendly to new people. They kind of want to, unless you prove yourself of having that level of skill, that's when they accept you into their inner circle kind of thing. And Tekken also has a bit of this culture, but Street Fighter has this culture as well. But I would say over the last maybe 10 years, the culture has changed quite a lot. That's why, going back to my point, like when I entered the scene, I saw some of that culture as well. But guys like Ali, like Loki, they basically reached out to me and they were so friendly. They took me in and introduced me to people. They're like, oh, this guy plays this character. Here's how we do things. And they really took the time to walk me around and introduce me to all these people and made me feel at home. And 10 years later, I'm still around. It's because of them, thanks to them, because they took that step to reach out to me, a newbie. That's why I feel like kind of like the duty or responsibility to do the same thing. I'm not as charismatic or friendly as those guys, but maintaining that culture that they pass on, that's how we keep growing our community.
You're very friendly.
Yeah.
You're friendly guy. I think you're friendly and charismatic from my experience.
I'm shy by nature, so actually CCH has kind of taught me to. It's kind of funny because I'm really shy by nature, but now I kind of some of my other friends in real life, they're like, oh, you're pretty good at talking to like random strangers. I'm like, I learned it from CCH basically.
Yeah.
I gotta go out to like someone I've never seen before and just like hey man, who are you? What's your story? What games you play?
Yeah.
Oh, let me sit you down with this friendly Street Fighter player. So because that first point of contact is really important. If a guy sits down, has a good time, he's gonna come back. If he comes there and people like are assholes to him, they're not gonna come back. So the first point of contact is really important. That's why guys like Tomo, who's like an anime guy, who's like really friendly to newcomers. Guys like Chris, who like puts people under his shoulder, like, and is friendly to new Street Fighter players. Those people are like gold. You have to like it's because of these people that our community continues to grow. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of attendance, what is the best year for CCH?
Actually, we've gone through like lulls, ups and downs. I would say towards the end of the Street Fighter 4, we, like attendance was a bit skint. Probably during when Street Fighter 4 came out, at the Couch Warrior ran back, so you would get like 100+ people just for Street Fighter 4, man. It was crazy. Like that was like the peak where everybody was playing that one game. But now we're a bit more diverse. You don't, you might not see numbers like that at the monthly anymore, except for Tekken. Tekken's really huge now. Tekken is the game at the moment. But I would say the last few years has been good. Like, man, CCH has been, we went from like, there's been some years where the library room is maybe like half full, but now it's like, it's almost a blessing in disguise to have the senior center because we're kind of like at capacity, especially with Tekken being as huge as it is. They bring like 6 setups down and they basically could fill the whole room if they wanted to. And not to mention, the other biggest change, which has happened in my time as well, is back in the day, maybe like the first few years of the Couch Warrior Shadow era, we were FGC focused, and then Smash blew up with the documentary, and Smash essentially kind of like carried the FGC in terms of numbers for majors. You look at BAM, you look at, like...
Are you referring to the Smash Brothers Melee documentary?
Yeah, like the one that came out at EVO and the community blew up after that. Like, that's when the numbers game...
That's a really good documentary.
Yeah. That's when the numbers game changed in Australia. Like, maybe back in the day, our majors would get 200 or 300 people, but now with Smash, adding like 700, 800 people there, that's when you get like 1,000-man events like BAM. So Smash has really changed everything, and kind of like from a numbers perspective, FGC has taken like a back step, and like Street Fighter has changed tremendously as well. Like the Street Fighter 5 generation essentially replaced but that happens in every Street Fighter. I from what I hear from the OGs and stuff like that, like Third Strike players as well, they weren't big fans of Street Fighter 4 when it came out. It's always, when a new game comes out, there's a bit of like, I don't like the older generation, a lot of people will be like, oh, that's not what I'm used to. It's just, I think it's natural human behavior, man. You get invested in something, you don't want to change. Like, I'm a bit like that as well. I can see that behavior.
Well, speaking of older Street Fighter games, what is your opinion of Alpha 3 and the scene that we currently have for it?
okay, to be honest with you guys, like, so when the doctor started doing his stuff, maybe he approached me last year or something like that. I was like, oh, Alpha 3, that's kind of cool. And I was kind of bummed out when he came to CCH one time because he was so keen to play Alpha 3, and there's a bunch of OG, SF players there, and I was excited for him. Oh man, sit ego down with him, blah blah. But they are more on Alpha 2. They actually are not that keen on Alpha 3. But I have to say, like, now you see Mike Toxie, who's probably, in my eyes, probably the greatest Street Fighter player of the last, of the last era. I mean, new generation coming up. I have a new guy,
Really?
but
Wow.
yeah, like, so I mean, you guys know Toxie or?
Yeah, we play against him in Alpha 3. I think he's good. I wouldn't say he's the best Alpha 3 player.
Well, I mean, just because he
Australia
doesn't really play Alpha 3. You're talking about a guy that...
He play Street Fighter 4 and 5. I didn't know that.
Man, he's been playing fighting games since he was 14 years old, man. He's he's traveled to EVO for X-Men vs Street Fighter. He was the best at Street Fighter 4 for a vast majority of early Street Fighter 4, going toe-to-toe Human Bomb and things like that. And
wow.
He's basically retired now. He doesn't compete anymore, but, anything he touches, man, it kind of depresses you, to be honest with you. Like, man, I sit down, I practice a combo probably like hours to get it down. He can look at a YouTube video and 5 minutes later he's doing that shit.
Yep.
It's kind of depressing, but there's we have a lot of great players in Australia. You guys like Somniac, who's like different spectrum. He might not be as physically talented as a guy like Mike, but he puts in the time. He really breaks down the game. He sits down and like kind of, that's why our nickname for him is Supercomputer, actually. But sorry, your initial question was, what was your question again? Sorry, I got
your opinion on the Alpha 3 scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So when the doctor came in, I was exposed to you guys. To be honest, he's doing an incredible job because we sit down and we talk about, man, wish more people came out to play Alpha. And then people will be like, there's no point, there's no players. But look what the doctor has done, man, with the Discord, the podcast that you guys are running, the online tournaments. Like, to be honest, like, for our group, we're like, man, where did these players come from? It's kind of from another dimension. Like, suddenly 15, 18 Alpha players appeared. And, I mean, I have to say, it's energized a lot of our old school players because they maybe weren't that big fans of Alpha 3. Look at like Chris, like he's more of a ST and Alpha 2 player, but now that you guys are bringing guys into play, and of course I've seen like some of the stuff that you put out, like I was telling Quest today, the doctor was just at CCH yesterday, and his videos are out today. Really,
he's quick off the mark.
I give the utmost respect to the doctor because I mean we have some like I try to advise him like, man, you should run on 30th because if you want to run your tournaments to be accessible to the biggest audience, you should use this.
Well, that's one of the debates at the moment. So your take on it is that we should ditch Alpha and go for vanilla.
Because it's a niche game already, right? You're playing a niche game already, part of a niche genre, and like if you want to get the maximum reach, you should use the standard version that everyone else is playing. And also, it's as a TO, I know logistics and things like that. Like if you run a PS2, there's going to be a setup limitation. You got to use converters, blah blah. If you're on 30th, there's so many PS4s and PS4 sticks around. It'll be easier to run a big kind of stuff like that. But anyway, like my view on that is that that's how I feel, but that's just my opinion. Since the doctor is running tournaments, he should have final say on all that stuff.
The community is quite split over it. We ran a poll and it was 13 to 11 in favor of vanilla to up. So it's a very split our community. Look, for people that want to start up a community for a fighting game they like, what is your suggestions?
So there's a few different ways to do it. Like, again, I tip my hat to the doctor because to do what he's done is really difficult. Like, to build up a community. Like, I understand he reaches out to people individually, right? He comes across people on 5K and stuff like that. He messages them and gets them to come in and kind of takes them under his umbrella, right? So, like, to be honest, to grow a niche game like that, you kind of have to do what the doctor has done and just put in so much time, because now the scene has changed completely. Like back in the day, like Osadu forums used to be the one place we all go and like congregate and talk fighting game stuff. So it's kind of easier to get a big bunch of people to just get your notice out there. But now in 2020, man, things are so different. You got Reddit, you got like Discord, you got Facebook, you got Twitter. Like everything's fragmented. There's no like, when vanilla Street Fighter 4 was coming out, I remember like everybody was on SRK forums talking about tech and stuff like that. Now you want to find like a piece of tech. It's kind of difficult, man. Like
I've seen pictures at the end of the year of CCH events.
Yeah.
And these big like pizza party things. Like
Yeah.
Have you seen anyone just pig out and eat a lot of pizza there?
Oh, man. Like, I think when I first started doing that, there was 1 year, like, I literally put the pizzas down. I went outside for 5 minutes to tweet a picture of it. I came back, everything was gone. There's some animals in our community, like,
You got to watch those Smash players, especially.
I don't want to name names like THK, but I'll be sitting there and, like, usually walking past with 8 slices of pizza on the plate. I'd be like, man, what about other people? Like, don't
Stunning
you, like,
degeneracy.
Yeah, it's just like they just go ham. They just go on the pizza and just whack 8 pieces right away. I'm like, Kevin, what about other people? they might need some food too, you know. Like, I've seen some crazy pigging out things going on at the end of year party. Last year wasn't so bad. Last year was the biggest one that we had because I normally just take any surplus that we have from the year and just burn it on the end of year party food. So it was $500 of pizza. We managed to feed everybody, but previous years when it's like $150 worth of pizza is gone like in like 2 to 5 minutes, just like that. So it's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy. FGC culture is like we're real hawk. You know, like we're kind of like stingy with our money, and when there's free food around, they just go ham. I've seen it. I've seen it so much over the years.
Final question: what's your like proudest moment being associated with CCH? Like, what's one of the best games that you've seen, or just a moment that's made you step back and think like, yeah, this is really worth putting all this time into setting it up?
There's a lot of moments like that. Oh man, to pick just one is kind of difficult. The first time CCH shut down, so that to accommodate Shadow HQ, we ran like a last CCH ever kind of CCH, and we went from like 2 p.m. to like 5 a.m. The sun was coming out. The cleaners came to the library, and we were still playing. It was crazy,
awesome,
man. You know, we have a history of doing like kind of like lame or funny stuff like CPU money matches where we set the CPU to play against each other at the highest difficulty.
CPU money matches.
Man, it's crazy, man. Like the CPU will do the randomest stuff, and we just be getting high, losing our minds.
I've never heard of that. That's awesome.
Just seeing the people, man. Like for example, seeing guys like Burnout. You know, like the first time I ever saw Burnout was at CCH. 10 years later, man, he's traveling around the world, being a world warrior, working for XSplit, looking at Evo and stuff like that. So it's just awesome to see people that have come and over the years they've grown into something, forces of their own right. That's what.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate you taking the time to come on.
No problem. You guys are doing amazing things. Like, props to you guys and props to the doctor. I hope your community continues to grow. And like, I take my hat off to you guys because I know how hard it is to do what you guys are doing to grow a scene like that. I kind of wish, you know, like there was a guy like that doing that for Marvel. That's the game that I love at the moment. But anyway, kudos to you guys, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. Cool, man. See you guys.
Here comes a new challenger.
I'm just loading it up.
Okay.
I hope there's no ads in this, is there?
I don't know. There shouldn't be, unless the doctor's got some long con to start making money from Alpha.
I don't know some con. Yeah, that's his ultimate plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why he wants to stick his logo over our podcast. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was thinking about that actually. I was like, I wonder if are we giving up creative control?
Yeah, did you read it? It says presented by the Alpha community. It doesn't say presented by Lukefitz and Quest.
Wow. We hold the means of production though. Like, we can make it independently.
Yeah.
All right, now we're into a commentary section of the podcast. So we're going to be commentating on the tournament from CCH that took place yesterday. So the first match that we're covering here is Kappa Shreds against Wu-Tang. So this is one of the semi-finals. Wu-Tang playing the V Sakura and A Ryu from Kappa Shreds. I guess while we're watching this match, like, what were your experiences, Quest, playing at the live tournament? Like, how did it compare to playing online? You know, we've had some of our guests stress the importance of playing offline and how different it is. Like, that's almost a different game. Yeah, how did you find that transition?
I found the transition to be quite difficult. I had to get used to it first. But I went straight into tournament matches and I didn't do too well. I felt a lot of my stuff wasn't working. And in this tournament, Crapper, who's usually a very strong player, he also had a poor showing as well. So maybe he experienced some of that. But at the same time...
specifically, what would you put that down to?
I think the timing is different. Like the speed of the game is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a bit it's sped up more on the emulator than it is in real life. But I actually lost in the tournament to the Sakura we're seeing on screen now.
Yeah.
I think Wu-Tang, normally he was a Relento player, but he's built up this Sakura and he's playing a lot better than I used to play him. So
yeah, okay. Does he play online at all? I'm not familiar with that name.
No, he doesn't play online. I've just only seen him offline.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He looks like he's got some good tech. Like he's hitting that combo, the short uppercut fairly consistently, and
yeah, his inputs are pretty good. I was impressed by that.
Yep. So what was Crapper struggling with? Was he just unable to execute his Vism and stuff, or just? Yeah, it's really surprising that such a strong player would go out like that.
Yeah, it was just a different player, but he arrived late, so he didn't have any time to warm up.
Yeah, okay.
But as I warmed into it, I got better. I think the same can be said for him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What about the new characters? I saw Dr. Allo picking Guile in some matches and T-Hawk in some matches. I think you played T-Hawk against you. How did you find facing some of those new characters that you've had less experience against?
Yeah, it is difficult. I mean, one of the debates in the alpha community between upper and vanilla is, as a person who plays vanilla, how do you adjust against a upper character that you have no experience in playing against? You know?
It's pretty unfair. Like I think it's my personal opinion is it should be played in vanilla anyway.
Yeah. No, honestly, I actually have a copy of Alpha Anthology, but my TV hasn't been working, so I haven't been able to play much of it.
Oh, right.
But yeah, the way I was playing, he would have won whoever he chose, to be honest. But I think that's a factor as well, though. Having this character you don't know how to deal with, it could be affect a lot of players.
That was a beautiful finish to the round from the Sakura there. Just predicted the super, jumped over it and hit him with jumping fierce, cancelled into fierce uppercut. That's huge damage combo. Just took the round, so it was really clutched it out there.
Shreds is a player who's very good when it comes to footsies. You know, his movement is very good, and his fireball traps are good as well.
Again, there, jumping over and getting the full punish. That's really making the difference so far.
He was saying his strategy was just to play Ryu, you know, fundamental Ryu that he's familiar with, and he did well this tournament. So.
Yep. Now, one thing that we didn't actually get into in our interview with with Muttons from CCH was their response to coronavirus. He was telling us off air that there was like maybe a quarter of the people there as were normally there at the last one. Like, what are your thoughts on that as a prominent member of the community? You know, is it their responsibility to cancel CCH because of coronavirus?
There was less people there, but there was still a fair amount of people there. Yeah, it just wasn't packed like it usually is. I think there is a responsibility there to cancel things, but it's a tough situation. It's a tough decision. But the good thing about CCH is if you were to cancel some of them, it's still a reoccurring event. It's not like it's once a year.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
What about the online tournament?
If it was banned, it would be a harder decision to make, I think, because that doesn't happen very often.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. What do you think about the online tournament? So we're meant to have an online tournament tonight. I'm a bit worried about logging onto FightK with all those, you know, dirty Alpha 3 players. They probably all have the virus. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, hopefully it won't transfer through the screen to us. But
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. I'll wear my mask just to be safe.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be wearing gloves for sure. Gloves and a mask. Which
character do you think would be least prone to contracting the coronavirus?
That's a good question. Maybe. Well, probably Dowson. I was going to say Dowson, but I think he's quite old, so maybe if he does contract it, he's most likely to die. I don't know who's going to be the safest. Someone who stays at long distance, doesn't play a lot of footsies. Someone who's probably quite young.
Maybe Rolento, because he doesn't punch them.
Yeah.
To keep the distance.
Yeah. I could see Rolento definitely be pretty good. Maybe Runaway Vega. You know, all you do is run away all the time. Hit him with the claw.
Yeah, the claw would help as well. And
yeah,
good point.
Definitely the grapplers are quite likely to get it, I would have thought.
So now he's going back to Rolento. In my opinion, his Sakura is stronger, but we'll see how he does in this match.
Yep. Yeah, that Sakura looked quite strong. I'm surprised that he switched. He's playing very defensive so far with Rolento. Rolento is an interesting character. He doesn't really feel like a Street Fighter character. It's like a really different style for most of them. Like his jump is really weird. He's got all off the wall stuff. Like he's just a real different kettle of fish.
Yeah, he flies around like a Marvel character.
Yep. Good slide there. That was really interesting to hear before that Toxie is such a famous Street Fighter player in Australia. I never knew that.
Yeah, neither did I. What do you think of this Rolento at the moment, and what could he do better? And same with the Ryu.
I think the Ryu is what a lot of the Alpha 3 players always stress, that you got to have good bread and butter combos just to do solid damage when you get a punish. So he's basically playing ST style Ryu, which is like, you know, obviously really strong and a good basis, but he's not. I wouldn't say he has many high damage combos like some of the stuff like cancelling into the Hurricane Kick and, you know, those high dizzy combos, maybe something. But, you know, what do I know? Like, they're both probably better than me.
Oh, that was nice super by Ryu.
Yep. Good block. You've got to block that low Rolento super.
You prefer to block or jump? What do you think is better?
Probably. Well, I guess if you jump, you can punish it hypothetically. But if you miss time it and you come back down, or you don't have enough time to jump, then you can get hit by it. So I probably normally just block.
Yeah, fair enough.
You have to block low though. So wow. The Ryu players come back. So was this must be best 3 out of 5, right?
Yes. From semi-finals onwards, it's 3 out of 5.
Yep. And he switched back. Wu-Tang switched back to Sakura. Obviously, he agreed with you that Rolento wasn't really working out.
Yeah, I think he's Sakura is just a lot better. But...
Yep. Seems like a lot of players are switching to Sakura at the moment in the community. It's a bit of a trend.
Well, Sakura and Akuma as well. That's another one.
Yeah, yep. People trying to switch to V'ism. Like someone like TMB, his V'ism with Akuma is getting really good. I wouldn't be surprised to see him have a really strong showing tonight in the online tournament.
I think part of it is because of the videos that Dr. Elo has posted with the V'ism combos. It gives people more direction.
Mm-hmm. Good anti-air there. That crouching fierce can be really good anti-air, but it's quite hard to time. You have to hit it just at the right moment.
Yeah, Cap has been very consistent in his anti-airs this match.
But just really good, solid Ryu play has taken him to match point, I think, here. Have a shreds, that is.
Yep, we are at match point.
Good fireball game. Oh, again, full completion on the combo.
Yeah, he's not dropping those combos. He's doing great on that.
Yeah. Did you find it to be different in terms of sitting right next to the person that you're playing? Was there an extra kind of psychological element there?
No, I didn't find any extra element in that way. But, yeah, I mean, having people, I guess, watching matches and stuff, it creates more pressure in that way.
Yep. Yeah, I can say that for sure. Jumps over the super. Oh, nice punish. Baited out the uppercut and finished it off with a standing fierce. Or roundhouse, rather. So this is match point either way. It's 2 games apiece, isn't it?
Correct, yeah.
So really high stakes match here. Oh, gets a full punish again. The execution with Sakura is really impressive. Maybe good punish again. Beautiful anti-air. Full punish. This is just a clinic. Oh, missed the punish there. Did really well to bait out the uppercut, but was couldn't punish. Oh, missed it again. Good block on the overhead. Oh, tries to jump over the super and gets hit. You can see a bit of panic setting in here. Oh, so many missed opportunities. Oh, gets the throw. What a comeback from Kappa Shreds there. That is just clutch.
Yeah, big comeback. Well done to Kappa there.
Yep. You can see Wu-Tang just had it in the bag and just kind of panicked right at the end. Okay, and the second match that we're looking at is the first match in the finals. So I think Alo actually came through the losers bracket. I think he might have got knocked to losers by either by Kappa Shreds or by Wu-Tang earlier. I'd have to check that, but he's coming through the losers bracket and going with Guile. It's really interesting to see. Did you have a chance to play as Guile? Like, I know you're notably a Charlie player. Guile seems to be fairly similar from the way Alo's playing him. Like, yeah, what are your thoughts on Guile as compared to Charlie?
Yeah, I had a chance to play Guile. One thing he's lacking is the the standing heavy kick. For Charlie, it's a long range move. For Guile, it's just an anti-air, so it's not as good.
Yeah.
But he does have some good attacks, like his crouching medium kick is better. And his movement is actually a bit better as well. I also had a chance to play against Guile. So against a player called Matt.
Yep.
Who's keen on joining our scene, so that was fun.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Guile looks really similar to Super Turbo Guile. Like,
he looks a bit out of place in this game, visually.
Yeah. Oh, nice speeds. And what is that? Just cancelling Crouching Fierce into Flash Kick.
Yeah, it's just Dr. Elo magic.
Yep. He doesn't have the standing medium kick that you can float backwards or forwards.
No, he has a spinning kick, but he doesn't have the long range kick that pushes you.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Oh, just a little too far to hit that combo there. That would have connected with Charlie, I think.
Good back fist.
Yeah. Oh, well, looking for the cross up.
Yeah, it's all about positioning with Guile.
Yep. Again, misses that flash kick combo. I think he's something's going off with his spacing there or something. He must have to be very close for that to actually land.
Yeah, he's missed it twice.
Oh, good activation. And as always, he doesn't drop.
Yeah, good timing there by Elo.
So what was the biggest game going on at CCH? Was it Street Fighter 5 or Tekken? Like, what was the vibe that you got?
There wasn't much Tekken there, actually. I think I saw not many setups. I think Street Fighter 5 would be the biggest one there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Also a number of setups we had for Alpha 3. So.
Yeah, nice. So what console was this played on?
Sorry?
What console was the actual tournament played on? On PS2?
Yeah, it was played on PS2. All the tournament matches were played on PS2.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this was the Alpha tournament. In 2 weeks, we will have a vanilla tournament on PS4.
Ah, okay. Yep, that's good to hear. If it's not cancelled because of coronavirus. As previously discussed. Or tried to jump in with activation but missed it, but Kappa tried to throw a fireball into the V's, which is always a risky move, and ended up getting punished. I think that's really the difference between the players at the moment.
Yeah, his use of super is really giving him a strong advantage here.
Yeah. Oh, gets anti-air there. Solid rear play. Just facing off. It's a very simple game plan from Dr. Elo. It's just throw booms, walk up and crouching forward. Oh wow, okay, so you can hurricane kick over the sonic boom.
Yep.
It's interesting, it's not a style I normally associate with Elo.
What style would you associate normally?
Well, probably more of an aggressive style, I think. More
I
jumping.
agree. I don't think he's a patient player. I think he's a very strong attacking player.
Yep. He's still looking for the jump ins quite frequently, but yeah, he's getting punished quite well for that.
Yeah, he's getting out footseed here. Well, Elo is. Okay. But once he gets in, you can see the damage he's doing.
Yeah, superior execution. Oh, nice overhead. It's very that's some classic ST style play right there. Just fireball, Guile walks up and tries to spinning back fist like it's
classic ST. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, the face off in the corner. That crouching forward, such a huge move for Guile, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a really strong move. It's his best crouching attack in the game.
Yep. So Elo picks up the first 2 games there. Any hesitation? Oh, he's moving back and forth. Hovering on Akuma for a while, the mind games. No. So it seems like there's an extra ism. What are those 4? It seems like there's 4 isms that you can pick from there. Did you see that?
Yeah, I haven't looked into it. I know the classic one is where you don't have a super, but I'm not sure.
Ah, okay. Yep.
This is
I
like
think you can
other things, you know.
Yep. Because you can activate that in the arcade mode by like after losing a game, like holding down some button combination, and you get to that no super ism.
Well, we do have Dr. Elo scheduled to be on the podcast, so it'll be interesting hearing his thoughts on the differences and the his opinion. So.
How long do you have? That could be a lengthy episode if we get into the full details.
It's like cutting it down to 10 hours.
Yep. And a bridged audio book.
It'll be a 10-part series.
Yep. So Ryu coming back with a round there. There was some stronger play there, some really nice block strings. I think when you see really good Ryu players, that's what they have, the good footsies, and also able to pressure with kind of
he misses that flash
crouching,
kick.
short and jab.
I wonder if it's the wrong flash kick.
Yeah. Wow, that Baden does a lot of damage.
But he gets the most powerful combo in Guile's ass.
Yeah, exactly. That's the paradox of some of these Alpha 3 plays. You miss a flash kick, but you the classic Ryu super. Yep. It's interesting he doesn't go with X Ryu. I feel like X Ryu suits his style quite well.
How so?
He only seems to use the one super, and yeah, he's not alpha countering a lot or anything, and I feel like the extra damage from X Ryu would really help.
Yeah, and he's not air blocking either.
No. Oh, great activation there. That's really interesting. That was one of the things that Sandman was talking about, that the Hurricane kick's very hard to punish online because you don't see the recovery frames, whereas there, Alo was able to see the Hurricane kick and punish it with Vs and very cleanly.
Yeah, I remember him saying that as well.
Good finish from Guile. So there he takes the first set, and we can go straight into the finals reset. So yeah, straight back into the finals reset, and that's interesting to see. Switch to Akuma. A lot of Ryu players seem to switch to Akuma when they've lost a few games. I've noticed that online.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Also, when they become more advanced, they tend to switch to Akuma.
Yeah. Probably just got a bit more tech, and he seems to have most of the stuff that Ryu has, as well as a whole bunch of other weird moves that are specific to Alpha 3. I think he's the most Alpha 3-esque kind of character.
The question:
Sakura probably.
Will Kappa utilize his extra moves? We've seen the air fireball.
Yep.
The dive kick, I reckon, will be very helpful in this match.
Yeah, I can say that. Anybody who relies on strong defense and anti-airing, the dive kick can really give them some problems. There it is.
There it is.
Great call from Quest. Ooh, punishes the uppercut. So yeah, it's really interesting that Alo is so strong with these upper characters. I guess he must have grown up playing the upper version of the game.
Yeah, he's dedicated to learning all the characters. It really shows.
Yep. So wow, just dominant footsies there. Throw the fireball to with punish, and then walk forward and hit with crouching forward. That pretty much sums up Alo's game plan. He's really using like 2 or 3 buttons. Just keeping it really simple.
Yeah, that's all you need to do is Guile.
Yep. Good flash kick there. Good pressure in the corner, but Guile just able to get out of it. Oh, and gets the full Vs, and is that going to kill? No, not quite. Yeah, but wow, that was a very dangerous walk up throw. He could have wake up supered there.
Yeah, he took the risk and it paid off.
Yeah, but we haven't seen many wake up supers so far from Kappa Shred, so I think it was still kind of.
It goes back to Ryu. He didn't believe in the Akuma.
No.
Do you think it was the right choice?
Yeah, I wasn't convinced by his Akuma. I think you've got to be using Vism and like the extra abilities that using Akuma gives you to justify it, because Ryu is better in some aspects. Like the fireball's a bit better, probably the uppercut's a little bit better for anti-airing. Yep. For his style of play, I think Ryu suits him more. Really using those hurricane kicks. Good hop kick there. Oh, we could have uppercut there. Again, Dr. Alo not scared to jump in.
The Kappa's spacing is good. You notice he moves back a little bit when Guile comes forward. He wants to be out of that back range.
Yeah, really important not to throw
Coming out of
fireballs.
phase now, move back.
Oh, nice. Just a little drop there and from Dr. Elliot. Oh, baits out the uppercut. I was expecting a bigger punish, but he takes that round. So yeah, I agree with you. He's doing a really good job of zoning Guile out with the fireballs.
Yep.
See, that's where the air blocking comes in. That was a beautiful late uppercut, but Guile just air blocked it. And the risk reward is really skewed for jump ins in this game. So, you know, if you jump in on a character that doesn't have V'ism, like the worst that you're going to get is uppercutted. Maybe you get supered, but most of the supers don't hit for full damage.
Even when it comes to V'ism, you can air block it and bait it out as well.
Yep. So anti-airing is just really not as good.
So he lands the combo. I think he used a different flash kick, and that's why it landed that time.
Ah, yeah, okay, that would make sense.
It looked like the light flash kick that time.
Yep. Maybe it has a different range. Good use of the hurricane kick again. I think that's why he's looking for so many of those tattoos, is to travel over the fireball and try and punish it.
Yep.
Being really patient here, really good patient play, even with a life lead. Oh, wow. So Guile jumped in, baited out the uppercut and activated, and in his invincibility frames, that uppercut went through him and then punished. That is, what are you meant to do as rear there? Because if you do nothing, you probably get thrown, or like you just get your guard broken, and if you
Definitely
uppercut,
a tricky situation.
yeah. Oh, great pressure here from Aloe, just walking straight forward.
Pressuring him, driving him back into the corner.
Yep. Good uppercut. But again, like, it was a good uppercut, but hypothetically, Aloe could have activated and hit him with V'ism. So it's a risk. Okay, no meter for either of them. Wow, good pressure. Really
Yeah,
tense.
good pressure there.
Tense footsies here. Now Ryu with the 1 level super, does he look for the super fireball? Oh, nice. Oh, somehow survives that V'ism. One more hit will do it of Chip. Oh, but walks up and looks for the throw, but Guile neutral jumps and then punishes. Yeah. So it comes down to the last game.
5 wins in a row for Dr. Aloe.
Yeah. Dominant performance.
Yeah, really coming back from that losers bracket. I mean, showing some dominance here.
Yep. Thinking about a switch, but goes back to Ryu. Having a while on the character select screen just to think it through.
Yeah, maybe rethinking his strategy.
Yep. So
I
what
don't
was
think
the
it was-
atmosphere? Oh, you go.
I don't think he was reconsidering his character choice, but his strategy and just taking a breather.
Yep. What was the atmosphere like when this game was going on? Like, was there a bit of a crowd of people around, or was it, what was the kind of the vibe during the tournament?
I feel in this match there was a lot of people crowding around. Everyone wanted to see, and
Yep.
yeah, you know, it was very hype. You know,
Yeah, yep. Oh, wow, really good round from Guile there. He got hit with full super and still had a big enough life lead just to tank it.
I think this is match point right now. Well,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's come very quickly. Oh, great combo. Oh, this is the corner pressure. That's a common Charlie box stream.
yeah, so consistent with his V.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Switched sides. Puts himself
Juggling
in the
him.
corner. Yeah. Wow. Oh, good uppercut. He's looking for a huge comeback like he had in the semis. But it's a long road to come back from here. Good sweep. Oh. Oh, and gets the trade with super right at the end there. So I'm quite impressed by the quality of that match. Like, that was a, you know, probably not to the same level as some of the online tournaments in terms of the dueling V'ism and stuff, but you know, it does give good credit to the community. That looked like quite a clean match.
Yeah, it was a strong showing from both players. Considering also Dr. Aloe played Guile, and I don't think Shreds has been, or Kappa has been part of our community for that long. So
Yep.
So all the way to grand final. I mean, well done to him, and well done to LO for winning it.
Yep. I mean, well done to all involved to come out and play some live Alpha 3. So yeah, that's about all we have time for on today's episode of Alpha Libs podcast. As always, if you want to come on, if you've got an opinion to voice or you've got something that you think the community needs to know about, let us know and we're happy to have people on. But yeah, for now, signing off.